Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Off-Farm Income Podcast. Thank you very much for joining us here for our episode number 901 on our YouTube channel. Well, today we're heading back out to Missouri. We're going to be speaking with a senior in high school, Mr. Jon Sanwald. We're going to be talking about what it's like and what it takes to raise 20,000 free-range chickens for egg production. Pretty fascinating business and what they've got going on their family farm, as well as this young man's savings ethic and just his mature decision-making with his money throughout his entire life so far, saving and reinvesting into himself. Really great interview, and we're going to get started for you right now. Joining me today is Jon Sanwald, and he is coming to us from Laclede, I can never say that, John, Laclede County High School in Conway, Missouri. I've had a great run of great students from Laclede, and he is serving as his chapter's president here in his senior year of high school. John, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, you bet. How is Missouri treating you today?
Oh, it's pretty nice out today.
Did I say it wrong? I think I said Missouri. Is it supposed to be Missouri?
No, Missouri.
Oh, Missouri. Okay. Well, it shows you what I know. All right. Well, hey, I'm happy to have you on. It's glad to talk with you.
I'm glad to talk to you too.
Okay. Well, let's do this. Let's find out about Jon Sanwald before we talk about your supervised agricultural experience. Will that work?
Yep.
Okay. My first question is, are you a Chiefs fan?
I don't watch very much football.
I like it.
I watch every now and then, but not very much.
Good, because the before COVID and all the stuff going on in football, the Chiefs beat my 49ers in the Super Bowl. And so, yeah, I don't want to talk with any Chiefs fans. No, I'm just kidding. That would be just fine. All right. So tell me about you. Do you live in town or you live out on a farm or something kind of in the middle of those two?
I live out on a farm, probably 300 acres.
Okay.
Towards Lebanon.
And what kind of farming are we talking? Row crops, livestock, a little bit of both? What are we talking about?
We do hay, and we do mostly livestock.
Hay,
mostly
okay.
Cattle.
Mostly cattle. Okay, very cool.
Yep.
Is this a farm that's been in your family for some time?
Yeah, it's probably my great-granddad's farm.
Is that right? Very cool. So he came out, I would assume, in the early 1900s or something like that and started it?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, very cool. And so is this a commercial cattle operation? Are you selling calves or are you raising breeding stock?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
We raise a little bit of breeding stock for ourselves, and then we sell all the cattle at a sale barn.
Okay. And is this the type of thing where your folks get to do this full time, or do they have to work off of the farm as well?
We have a 20,000 bird chicken barn that my dad works at, and then my mom's a custodian at Lebanon.
Got it. Okay. So we've got other projects going on in addition to the cattle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Multiple.
Yeah. Different jobs, different businesses.
Yeah.
Just making it work like everybody else. That's what this show is all about, John. Okay. Very good. Now, how long have you been part of the FFA?
I've been a part of the FFA since I came to Conway for 4 years.
Okay. So you didn't live in Conway until you started high school there?
No, I go to Jolie Barber. It's a K-8 school, and
Okay.
I got to pick between Lebanon and Conway, and I decided to go to Conway.
And you decided. How'd you make that choice?
Well, I knew the Ffa Advisors, and I liked the FFA program here.
Okay. So
It's a smaller school.
Okay. So was there an FFA program at the other high school you could have gone to as well?
Yeah, there's an FFA program there at Lebanon too, but it's just a larger scale.
Uh-huh. And this one was smaller. And it sounds to me like you had already made up your mind you were going to be part of the FFA, and it was just a matter of choosing which chapter you wanted to be in.
Yep, for sure.
Okay. So when did you make that decision? How young were you when you decided you were going to join the FFA?
Oh, I've always wanted to join the FFA, probably since I knew about it.
Yeah?
Probably 4 or 5.
Wow, that's young. So I guess my first question is, how does a 4 or 5-year-old get to know even what the FFA is?
I had a sister, and she was in the FFA.
Okay. So she was in it, And so then something about it appealed to you. What was it?
Just getting to learn more about ag and just, yeah.
So your family was obviously involved in agriculture and raising livestock. And at an early age, that was something that you thought you wanted to be involved in yourself and learn more about?
Yeah, I've always wanted to learn more about ag.
Okay.
I still learn every day.
And was there any draw? Like when you saw your sister in her official dress, did you want to be in that official dress too?
Yeah, I'd say so. It's just the blue and gold. That's always has ran through my blood.
Yeah, very cool. Well, that's great. So you had to wait a long time. I mean, if you were 5 years old and you didn't get to start until your freshman year, that's what, 8 or 9 years you had to wait until you could finally join.
Yeah.
So were you able to tag along with your sister to different events and see things going on?
At the fairs I did, but not very many different events like out of school and all that.
Okay. So you got signed up. You chose Conway. Did she go to Laclede as well?
No, she had to go to Lebanon.
Okay.
Or she went to Lebanon.
Okay. So she went to the different chapter that you had your option in, and you went your own way at Laclede. And, and obviously now you're serving as your chapter's president, so something must have gone right.
Yeah. I've tried for being an officer every year I could, and I just hadn't got it yet. And I just kept trying, and I got it finally.
Oh, that's great. So being chapter president, that's the first officer position that you've held?
Yes, sir.
Oh, well, congratulations. That sounds like quite an accomplishment to me.
Thank you.
Hey, you bet. So were you surprised by that, or were you competing for only that position?
I was mostly running for president or vice president, but it was a real surprise I actually got president.
That's great. How does it work at your chapter? Do you put in and then the committee chooses which position to give to you, or do you run and get elected? How does it work?
So basically we have to go and do interviews, and they take scores on that, and the best people, the people that they think they'll be best for it, they get president, and so on down the line.
Okay. And so when you did your interview and they asked you about what future plans you had for the chapter, what kind of things you wanted to do during your year as president, what did you tell them?
I just wanted to make it make it the best year I could. Even with this coronavirus going on, I wanted to keep the chapter strong. And just move it on forward.
So how are you going to do that?
I'm going to try and plan as many events as we can, but I know with the COVID we can't do very much, but just do as much as we can.
And are you able to attend school at all right now?
Yes, we're in school 5 days a week. Okay,
so you're in school, but events are limited?
Yep, events are limited due to the COVID.
Yeah, the social distancing and crowd sizes, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Well, good for you. You are going to make the best of a really challenging situation. I mean, this is pretty unprecedented. When people look back at the history of your FFA chapter and they say, how did we get through the coronavirus? They're going to look at you as the chapter president and remember your history here.
Well, that's what I'm hoping for.
Well, good. Well, good for you. I'm glad to hear that. Well, I'll tell you what, John, on our episodes, we always like to acknowledge and just kind of give a shout-out to our different FFA advisors. Who are those folks for you?
My FFA advisor is Mary Ann Keck and Joseph Stratton.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for mentioning them. I'm going to take a moment to mention our great sponsors, John, and of course everybody. That is Lacrosse Footwear. You can find them over at lacrossefootwear.com, and as always, I love to talk about them during our FFA episodes because they're so proud to support the FFA by annually sponsoring $25,000 in scholarships and jackets as part of the Give the Gift of Blue program. And of course, I wouldn't advertise for them if I didn't trust them and I didn't use them, and we use their Alpha Range boots on our farm every single day of the year. And I found those boots and bought them myself well before Lacrosse was ever a sponsor of the show, and I'm still on my very first pair, which is unprecedented for me with a neoprene-based rubber boot. So these are boots that literally are going to work as hard as you, and they're going to hold up, and they're going to last, and you are not going to be sorry. You can find everything they've got to offer for you over at Lacrosse footwear.com. And then, of course, Powder River Livestock Handling Equipment, another very historical company going back over 80 years, manufacturing livestock handling equipment for range cattle out here in the West. And I'll tell you what, range cattle don't see humans that often. And so when they've got to get caught in a squeeze, they've got to go through an alleyway, they do not like it, and your equipment better be right, or you're going to have problems. And that's exactly what Powder River has been designing for over 80 years. Designed to handle the toughest cattle we have in the United States, and if they can handle those cows, they can certainly handle yours. Check out everything they've got to offer you over at powderriver.com, and let your local farm and ranch retailer know you want to see that Powder River green out in their sales yard, so you can also have the finest in livestock handling equipment. All right, well, Jon, let's get back to you, and let's talk about your supervised agricultural experiences. So what have you been doing for those?
I had bought 12 cows, and I've raised them, and I raise the calves and sell them, and then I built a fence on the side, and I also work at a 20,000 bird chicken barn. I'm all over the place.
And you mow too? Did you say that, or did you say you're all over the place?
I'm all over the place.
Okay, so you're a busy young man. Well, let's talk about these cows. So you bought 12 head. When did you do that?
I've just gradually bought them. I've started probably 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
If not over.
And
just buying one here and there whenever I can.
Yeah. How did you get your seed money? How did you buy that very first one?
So I showed pigs at the Lebanon Fair, and I just kept that money, and from where I sold it, and I just keep building it up, and I just keep making money.
So you're telling me that you showed pigs, you sold them, and then you reinvested that money back into buying livestock. You didn't go buy an Xbox or candy or something like that.
Nope, I kept it in a savings account, and I just bought cows whenever I could.
What a concept! Why, you get all that money, it's tempting, right? I mean, to go spend it on something frivolous, but you saved it for cattle. Where'd you get that motivation from?
Well, I've just always saved money because I've showed pigs since I was probably 5 or 6 years old, and I've just always put it in a savings account and just waited for a rainy day, I guess.
And so
or what I wanted.
Yeah, well, good for you. So you reinvested it back into buying cattle, and then I'm assuming that you've been getting calves out of these cows. Am I right about that?
Yep, and I sell them to the Buffalo, or I sell them at Buffalo, and we keep reinvesting.
Keep reinvesting and building. That is great. Good for you. And so now you've got 12 head, and you're getting 12 calves a year, or hopefully 12 calves going to the sale every year. I mean, that's starting to be something real for you.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep adding on as I can.
That is great. Good for you. Well, tell me about building fence. That's tough work.
Oh yeah, we build probably a quarter mile a day if we have work.
And is that you working for a company, or is that your own business? How does that shake out?
I work for a company.
Okay.
I work for a company, and we do jobs, whatever he says.
Gotcha. Is it mostly barbed wire? Are you putting up field fence, or are you doing even like privacy fences in people's homes?
Mostly we do barbed wire. We've done woven wire. Just whatever we need to do usually.
Mm-hmm. Man, that's great. Good for you. So you're getting some good experience there. What's the toughest part of that job?
I'd say probably having to drive all the posts.
Okay.
And carrying them.
So your boss is not sprung for one of those hydraulic post pounders yet?
Oh, we do have one.
Oh, you do?
We got to take and lay them all out and all that, and stand them up for them. Gotcha.
Yeah, that driving post, especially if it's rocky. Is it rocky where you're at?
Oh yeah, lots and lots of rock.
That is brutal. It's amazing when you're driving posts like that and you're hitting a rock. If you just keep pounding it, sometimes it'll move that thing and it'll all of a sudden start going down again.
Yeah.
You ever have to blast any rock out to get your fences in?
No, we haven't done that yet.
Oh, well, that's probably good. That's a good sign. Where I'm at, I'm in Idaho, and we've got lava. And every now and then you think you could move a rock, but you can't because it's about a quarter mile long, so you got to blast a hole in it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I haven't had to do that on this place yet, but I've been on a place where we had to do that, and that is something. But anyway, that's enough about me. Let's get back to you. Okay, so fencing. So you're pounding the post, carrying the supplies, and doing all of that. You know, I don't even care if you put you put a marker string out. I could still never run a straight fence. I bet you can.
We don't always get them straight. We try, though.
I guess if there's obstacles in the way, sometimes you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you're working in the poultry barn. Is that the one that your dad's in as well?
Yep. It's a family, or we own it, and we built it probably 2 years ago.
Okay.
With 20,000 chickens in it, and we get the eggs from them.
Oh, okay. So this is all egg production.
Yep, just egg production.
That is cool. So 20,000 chickens in there, and you're getting the eggs out of them. And then where does your family sell the eggs to?
We sell them to a company, and they usually go to Arkansas.
They go to Arkansas, okay. And then they probably get distributed around to grocery stores or something like that, I'm assuming?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, very good. And do you guys own the chickens, or do you do this on contract?
We own the chickens.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting. There's multiple different ways to do it. Do you know why you guys choose to own the chickens rather than doing this as a contract?
Just better money, usually.
Okay. Yeah, I suppose that's usually the number one factor. Huh, really interesting. So what do you do in there? What's your daily routine look like?
Usually I go in there and I pick up the eggs on the floor that aren't on the belts and carry them to the front, and then we run eggs through the machine and it all packs them on to flats, and we put flats onto the pallets.
Okay. And are you... Oh, go ahead.
Do it. And then we have to put the birds every night whenever they're out, so we just take and run them, or take and put them up.
So the birds during the day, when you say they're out, are they out in the barn or are they outside? Where are they at?
They're always out in the barn. But they go outside. We've got paddocks, and they run up and down them.
Okay.
Nonstop.
So
usually.
Then are the eggs that you're harvesting there, are they classified as free range chicken eggs then?
Yep, free range.
Got it. Very cool. Very interesting. And so they go and they coop up at night, and you got to close them in.
Yep.
Okay. Interesting stuff. So 20,000 birds, man. How much feed is that every day?
We probably feed. I think it's around 5,000 pounds a day.
Wow, that is impressive.
I think it is.
And then when you're collecting the eggs, are you guys quality checking them and sizing them, or is that up to the company you're selling them to?
We just we make sure there's no feathers, and we don't have to quality check them or anything.
Okay. Huh, very interesting business. Well, I mean, so here you are, you're a senior, and so you've got 1 year of high school left, and obviously you're learning a lot about entrepreneurship and working for yourself, all of that. Is that something that you look at in your future that you want to do, or are you looking at a job when you're done with high school, college? What thoughts do you have?
I'm not for sure yet. I've thought about just doing the cattle and the chicken barn, but I thought about going to be a mechanic too.
Okay. So you've
tractors and stuff.
You've got an interest there?
Yeah.
Do you get to do any mechanicing right now?
Oh yeah, we do lots around the farm.
Yeah. Very interesting. So you're undecided, but that's not a big deal because you're already well on your way. You're working. You're saving your money. You're investing back into yourself. I mean, you're doing all the things that I would tell anybody to do, even if they were 40 years old.
Yeah.
That is great. Well, good for you, Jon. Well, let me ask you this before we wrap it up today. What is it about this agricultural lifestyle that you like?
Well, I just like to be outdoors and be with the animals and see the animals grow and all that.
Yeah, what is it about being with the animals you like?
Just being able to raise them up and see how they grow, and it's peaceful to me. It's something I've always done.
Yeah. I agree. I was actually interviewing one of your classmates earlier, and we talked about turning cows out onto fresh pasture and how I can just sit there and lean on the fence and watch them eat for like an hour. It is peaceful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's great. Well, Jon, this has been a real pleasure. It's been nice to meet you and great to hear your story. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being here, everybody. Thank you to Jon Sanwald for coming on the Off-Farm Income Podcast today and sharing that great story. And as always, enjoy your journey to the ultimate lifestyle business, agriculture.